Buongiorno! This is the Medici fuzz from Italy from Dophix Effects. It's hand-built, it's got lots of knobs on it, and it sounds like this. So yeah, it's a pretty raucous fuzz, which I wasn't really prepared for because that was it tamed, and I was expecting something a bit more bluesy. Let's have a look at it. There are 2 foot switches. The one on the left is turning it on. The one on the right is adding even more fuzz, which is called the even more fuzz switch. Across the top, we've got master volume of the whole pedal, then how fuzzy you want the fuzz to be, and then the level of the even more fuzz, and then how fuzzy you want the even more fuzz to fuzz. Then we've got a master tone and a clean blend. I was running through the Fender Deluxe Reverb in that first part, and I'll also go through the Tone King Royalist as well, which is a Marshall Plexi-ish kind of thing. Beautiful. Right, first tone. I've never used this Strat in a more sort of Smashing Pumpkins vein. I've always done more blues with it. So the Medici is making this come alive, which makes me want to jump straight to something that is already angry. So I'm going to grab the SG. Angry. And just by tweaking the tone knob on this and giving it a bit more fuzz, it's retaining this character, which is quite ratty. It's undoubtedly a fuzz, like a big, thick fuzz, but it's more rat-like than it is muff-like, I think. I don't know what the Medici, which I want to keep calling the Medici, by the way, because I'm from England, I don't know what it's based on, but I love it. Let's try something else. Let's try a baritone straight away. A lot of energy. Usually when I put this baritone through a fuzz pedal, I get either a bunch of low end, which is really fun, or some scratchy mid-range without the low end, and I can never get both. And now I've got both with the Medici, and I think it's this blend knob here. That is, this tone knob, it seems to be doing more than just tone as well. It's definitely one of those pedals where you have to turn knobs and they interact with each other, rather than if you want to do one thing, you turn one knob. So I'm having fun explaining that to myself, and I'll explain it to you in a little bit when I dive in and twist all the knobs. But I really just want to try a bunch of instruments through it, so I'll find something. Oh, P90's semi-hollow body. I was trying to go for the least amount of fuzz I could get by turning the blend almost all the way down and the fuzz almost all the way down as well. But it's still got that grittiness to it, that real... It's not a Velcro tone. It's a broken amp kind of small amp sound, which can be Velcro-y. We're getting into fuzz description territory here. Bear with me. Go find your fuzz description dictionary and play along. It's kind of like as if the guitar has laryngitis and is just regaining its voice back, and there's still that at the back of it, but it's really high pitched, like a Muppet with laryngitis. There you go. That's what it sounds like. Sorry, Dophix. I want to try something else. What haven't I tried? I'll find something. I did not intend to do that, but that's a really fun sound. I found a little magnet next to my picks, and I thought it was a pick, so I tried to play with it, and it turns out it does that. Anyway, that's amazing. I recommend you do it, but I'm going to play a riff now rather than just throw magnets at my guitar. plumber upstairs. We have a huge leak above the studio, so I might not be able to finish this video in one day, but we'll see. I'm going to switch over to the Tone King now, because I want to hear what this sounds like with a bit more of a warmer amp, and then we'll go through the knobs and switches and, you know, max it out, basically. Yes. Come on.
15 minutes later.
Good news, I'm not going to be swimming in the studio anytime soon. The plumber's gone, everything's fixed, which means I can record a loop and finally play it through the Medici. So as I've been saying all the way through this video, it is extremely aggressive and angry. And it's just occurred to me that maybe you can use the even more fuzz without using the fuzz. So maybe these are independent, and I probably should have looked at that before I made those tones at the beginning. So we'll have to do something now if that is the case. It is. Okay, so you can use even more fuzz without the fuzz. So you get even less fuzz, but still more. Alright, so I thought the normal fuzz was aggressive. I've got the blend all the way down. Okay, so the more fuzz is not affected by the blend. Is it affected by the tone? No! Okay, so the tone and the blend only works on the fuzz side. Even more fuzz is just adding more fuzz, would you believe? That is one fuzzy pedal. Dophix is not a brand that I expected to do something this thick and kind of doomy. Although I don't know if it does doom because I've still been in standard tuning all of this time. But Dophix for me is more a blues and rock kind of pedal-y kind of company. So it's really refreshing to hear what they're doing with this Medici. Where's the little... Oh, there it is. Okay, it sounds phenomenal, and this is the clean tone, and there's a bit of grunt there, and then add that in. All right, time to review it and do the good, the bad, and the ugly. First, the good. Number one, the sounds are phenomenal. As I said, I was expecting a bluesy kind of fuzz, and I got this raging monster. It doesn't go all the way to polite fuzz. It's still raspy and a little bit angry, a bit teenage, but it does go fully angry fuzz. And that is something that I love. And if you're after one of those, this should be on your list. Number two of the good, the build quality is sublime. I opened it up, I took a look, and as you can see from this, they've cut no corners. They've made a very good pedal. I like the way that the LED is going around the base of the pedal as well, which you can't see from the overhead camera. I really like the aesthetics of the pedal, which, as we know, is extremely important when putting together a pedal board. But what I mean is, it's classy in a way that it looks handmade, it looks boutique, but it looks expensive as well, somehow. I don't know. And I love these little Italian phrases on there, which I don't fully understand, but I've thrown them into Google Translate, and I'll put that up on the screen what it translates to, which could be wildly inaccurate, but it is fun, and I did enjoy doing that earlier. It's easy to use, and the knobs are very interactive with each other, and if you've ever used a pedal before in your life, when you're turning one, you think, oh, I need to do a bit more of that, you'll get there. So with the blend and the tone particularly, they're very, very powerful, and I was automatically adjusting it to get the sound that I wanted, and I got it every time without even really thinking about it, which is good, because onto the bad, there isn't an instruction manual with it. And there is a website, but all I got was this piece of card, which tells me the weight of the pedal, but doesn't really tell me much about the pedal. So I'd love to see Dophix improve their stuff and maybe add some suggested settings in the manual. That would be cool to get people started. And although they look great, these knobs are a little bit slippery, and if I was on stage sweating away making some big old thundery riffs, I might not be able to see that marker, and also might not be able to grab the knobs. Yeah, laugh it up. Onto the ugly, and that is the Medici costs just over 400 euros, which is a lot of money for a pedal. And you might be screaming at the screen right now saying, how much? This fuzz pedal is only this much money and it does that as well. If you're into fuzz, you'll get it. If you're not, and you're just a sort of weekend fuzz player, you might just go and get, something a lot cheaper. If you're a fuzz connoisseur, then you'll understand that some fuzz pedals can be 500, 600 euros. This one is only 400, which I can't help but think is a little bit too much. I would have expected more in the 300 range. But in its defense, it does play like a 300, 400 euro pedal. And what I mean by that is everything was predictable and reliable. Like turning the knobs did a gradual thing. And on some of the cheaper fuzzes I've played, they go from nothing to crazy with just this little turn, which is fun, but sometimes you want controllability. And the Medici has it in spades, whatever that means. And I'll let you into a secret. I almost didn't make this video because when I first plugged into the Medici, I didn't really connect with it. And I wasn't sure if I liked the sound. And the reason being was that I was trying to get a blues sound out of it because I had these preconceptions of it being a Dophix pedal. Therefore, it's going to be blues or something, more mainstream, not noisy, big old, chuggingly fuzzy. So I expected something more, I don't know, Klon rather than Jupiter Effects. And this is, in fact, this is like a Jupiter Effects that is more polite. A Jupiter Effects pedal in a suit that you can take home to your parents. So, final thoughts on the Medici. If the price doesn't scare you, you're going to have a wild ride with this. There are links to this in the video description where you can find out more information and up-to-date pricing in your region. Over there is a subscribe button, and as always, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!